plan ahead. I can't tell you enough. Airlines, they normally allow you to book tickets about 9 months ahead. Book them. They're never going to get cheaper. They're never going to have sale fares or anything like that. It's just, you book them early, you get the lowest classes in the seats. Doesn't mean the cheapest seats, it's just price-wise. I know at the moment, I booked my own flight. I'm going to go home to Cape Town for Christmas. I booked the 21st of December to the 4th of January. I paid 490 euros return with Turkish Airlines. To Cape Town, return on Christmas, New Year, hello. Why wouldn't you go? So there's some really good deals at the moment. Ethiopian Airlines have some really fantastic deals. And now that they've got Addis as a destination, you can fly Dublin, Addis, Zanzibar, just with one stop. So we've got new destinations. And the first thing that we always do, and we always look at who's flying, where they're flying to, and how easy is it to get there. And then obviously cost factors. So those are the things. I don't like giving money to an airline. I travel a lot. And the last thing I want to do is give any airline money. The more money you can save on an airline, the more you've got for your trip. Couple of stops. And I get people coming to me and say, right, Nanda, we're going whenever, and we want to go to Victoria Falls. We want to do a safari. Then we want to go to Cape Town. We want to then go to the Kruger National Park, go to Mauritius and stop off in Dubai. We've got 2 weeks and we've got 5,000 euros. It's just not going to happen. When you look at the flight price alone, you're spending $2,000 on your flights. It's just out the window. It's not going to happen. Less is more. So compromise on a destination that you both like. Okay? Decide on that destination is when you're going on travel. So if you're going to go in the middle of the year, as in June, July, then obviously you can go to, and you want to go to South Africa, it's the middle of winter in Cape Town. Don't go to Cape Town. But if you're going to go in December, then that's open. So when you're traveling, it's going to determine where you can go. And try and figure out a place that you both like. And maybe if you're going to pick 2 destinations, why don't you pick one and why don't you pick one? So, that works too. Time is money. I said it to you before, if you're flying a lot, you're just going to spend money on an airline. Why would you give Emirates loads of money? They've got loads of money anyway. Okay? You get what you pay for. I see it so often. People, they buy something and they pay for something and you just think, why did you book that? I could have done so much better for you, because I know when the specials are, if you stay 3 nights here, you're going to only be paying for 2. Or if you turn your itinerary around, go at the end of September and do the first 3 nights in the Safari Lodge, you're paying low season rates. From the 1st of October, it's double the price. So does it make a difference if you start this way or that way? Yes, it does, because it makes a huge difference on the money. The other thing I will say to you as well, any destination that you go to where you're going to do stuff, if you're in, let's say you're in Hong Kong and you're going to be out doing stuff all day long, why stay in a 5-star Shangri-La? Book a 4-star that's got a really good breakfast and go off and do stuff. And then go in when you're going to go on the safari or whatever, go and take the money that you've saved and stick it into. You get what you pay for. I see it so often. People, they buy something and they pay for something and you just think, why did you book that? I could have done so much better for you, because I know when the specials are, if you stay 3 nights here, you're going to only be paying for 2. Or if you turn your itinerary around, go at the end of September and do the first 3 nights in the Safari Lodge, you're paying low season rates. From the 1st of October, it's double the price. The other thing I will say to you as well, any destination that you go to where you're going to do stuff, if you're in, let's say you're in Hong Kong and you're going to be out doing stuff all day long, why stay in a 5-star Shangri-La? Book a 4-star that's got a really good breakfast and go off and do stuff. And then go in when you're going to go on the safari or whatever, go and take the money that you've saved and stick it into a really nice resort at the end maybe. So be smart with how you juggle your itinerary. You can actually get a lot for what you've got. You'd be surprised how much you can get in if you juggle your accommodation slightly. You don't need to go 5-star all the way. In a lot of places, 4-star is 5-star here. Like Dubai, 4-star is definitely 5-star here. So why not? Don't book what your friends or your sister did. Why? They might give you, and everybody's got an opinion. Everybody does. Trust your own instincts and go with it. And don't listen to what people have to say. I think it's for you. It's your trip. That's what I think. TripAdvisor says this hotel's no good. Really? Because there's the one review out of 1,000 that maybe the last one that was there and somebody had a bad experience. Okay, look at TripAdvisor or whatever you might do, but be objective. If there's loads of bad ones, fine. But if there's really loads of good ones and a few bad ones, it's okay. Book in advance. I said it to you before. Make a list of what you want to do and the activities that you want to do. Good example, if you want to do a balloon flight in the Serengeti, that's going to cost you like $500 per person. when are you ever going to go on a balloon flight again? Stick it, stick it on the credit card. I did many times, so we can always sort it out later. Documents important. Anywhere you travel, if you haven't changed your married name yet or anything like that, and you book something in your maiden name, and suddenly you're traveling in your married name, that's something that you shouldn't do. And if you're going to a place like the Maldives or Mauritius or anything like that, you need to bring your wedding certificate with you, because they want to know that you're on honeymoon, because they're giving you all these deals on honeymoons. And if you don't have your wedding certificate with you, that's it, you're paying a lot more. So that's something that you need to do as well. Driver's license you need a credit card. Inoculations, Graham's told you a lot about those things, but a passport needs to be valid for 6 months on your return date, and you need to have 2 empty pages in it. That's all you need, really. Other than that, do something completely different. Book a hotel that looks like a box, or that sits in a tree, or that's wherever it may be. Don't book what you would do when you were at home. Packing, I'm going to give you a really, really good tip about packing. Fionn said pack the before you go on your wedding. I've had it a lot lately with airlines where a bag doesn't arrive. So you've flown, you get to your destination, and you stand here and you're waiting at the carousel, and you're going, oh Jesus, is it me this time? It's like winning the lottery, but just in a bad way. So my bag hasn't arrived, and all of a sudden, you're in trouble because your clothing isn't there. What I always recommend is put half of your clothing in his bag and put half of your clothing in her bag. Pack a little bit of everything into each bag, so if one doesn't turn up, ain't going to be a problem for the next 3 or 4 days until it catches up with you. Best tip I'm ever going to give you. No valuables into your bag, hand luggage, any medication, hand luggage. You know the rules about 100 mils and all that sort of stuff, easy. But split the packing and put half in each bag. It's the best tip I'm ever going to give you, so if a bag doesn't arrive. Don't travel with friends and family or something like that. Leave them at home. I don't think you need it. So the other thing I wanted to say to you then is about places to go that are kind of hot at the moment that people want to go to. Obviously, with the Zika virus, there's a few places that might not be the place to go to. Brazil, some of the Caribbean islands are affected and that sort of stuff. So where does one go? If you're going to go on your honeymoon in our winter, from October to, let's say, March or April, South obviously is a good place to go. Right now, South Africa, I cannot tell you what good value for money South Africa is at the moment. The rand has fallen through the floor against the euro. I looked at it yesterday for somebody, and I went into a menu that a place that we recommend selling. They have a little restaurant. They do a really nice rump steak. How much do you pay for a rump steak here? A good one, like 22 euros, something like that. Maybe if you're lucky, 29, €7.80. Rump steak with all the trimmings. Okay, really nice restaurant. The prices for South Africa have come down in the last 2 months by almost 40%, just on the devaluation of the rand. So where you would have gone 4-star before, you're probably going to have a really good mixture between 4 and 5-star now. So unbelievable value for money, and you can do anything there. Driving the same side of the road as us, can do whatever you like. Great combination with Mauritius. Flying is excellent. Victoria Falls is another really good combination. Fly into Vic Falls, spend 3 or 4 days doing the activities, go over to the Chobe National Park in Botswana, do your safari there, fly into Cape Town and just enjoy Cape Town. And do you know what? Take a self-catering apartment and enjoy the city. It's loads to do. South Africa and Namibia, because it's linked to the same currency, great destinations. Kenya, Tanzania. Kenya is always a good one if you want to go. Good on budget, combines really well with Mombasa. Tanzania, Safari, and Zanzibar, that's a really, really popular one at the moment. Can be a little bit more expensive, but again, depending on the time of the year that you're traveling, you can almost travel all year round. Not great June and July. Maldives, not great June and July. Anywhere in Asia that you go, if it's monsoon season, so if it's a rainy season, again, especially India, Sri Lanka, those places, again, are middle of the year, it's going to be affected by the weather. States is always going to be a good place to travel to. Now that we have direct flights to LAX, say with Ethiopian Airlines, you can even consider going to Tahiti or the Pacific, jump over to Los Angeles, spend a couple of days, and then go over to they're resorts that don't have to cost you earth. You don't have to spend 14,000 euros on a holiday into Tahiti, so there are options there. Vegas, hugely popular. Cancun, hugely popular. Loads of people are going. Thailand, really, really popular. And do you know what, for Thailand, Do you need me to organize a honeymoon for for Thailand if you can book a hotel and a flight? Probably not. But there are a couple of things that you can do where I can give you some advice on some of the resorts, or maybe you want to go to Elephant Hills and go trekking with an elephant. Those are the things that you might want to book as well. So Thailand's a really good place to go to. South Africa, amazing. Kenya, Tanzania, work. Anybody else have any plans on where you want to go?
I think in Thailand, Vietnam.
Thailand, Vietnam, yeah. What time of the year were you looking to travel?
End of September, early October.
Okay. You know, Vietnam is about 3,000 kilometers in length, so the north weather is completely different to the weather in the south. So it might be a good idea to combine Thailand and maybe the south, and do even Angkor Wat, go over into Cambodia and do that part, or go up into the north and then do the boat trip out in Ha Long Bay or something like that. So it just depends on when you want to travel again. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a hint on the Maldives. There's 1,500 islands. They all look exactly the same. And the resorts that are on the islands have been built government standards. They tell every hotel the materials that they're allowed to use to build them and how they're allowed to build them. So I did an inspection on the Maldives, and I looked at probably about 200 properties. I swear to God, to this day, I don't even remember one single one, because they all look so the same. So it doesn't actually make a difference which island you pick, but the name of the property that runs that island, that's what you're paying for. So if you're staying in an Oberoi one, suddenly you're paying, like I looked at a 7-night stay the other day for somebody, it was 128,000 euros for 7 nights. I went, okay, we're not picking that one, okay? But it's ridiculous. It's the same sand, the same palm trees, the same buildings really, but it's run by a company that, like, you can charge 128,000 euros for a week. Why? So if you're going to the Maldives, around the Malay Atoll, all the speedboat transfers. So anything within 40 minutes around from where the airport is, those are always going to be really good on budget, because you don't have to do the seaplane transfers. Like seaplane transfers are like $300, $400 each way. So 40 minutes by boat and you're on your island. They're also the best for snorkeling and scuba diving. So anything around the Malay Atoll is really, really good if you want to do some snorkeling. So they're great. So you can pick like the Adaran resorts, the Medufushis, the Hudaran Fushis, those kind of things. As long as you go all-inclusive, I would definitely recommend that, because you can pay 20 euros for a glass of wine. Because the Maldives, you must remember that every single, from a bottle top to a pin, they have to import it. They don't make anything. Everything has to be brought there. So they charge accordingly. And then, you know, some of the islands, they have great discounts. Like I see the rates every day, like 65% discount. Something that costs $15,000 suddenly costs $4,000 for a week. So you can get great deals. So definitely have a look and see what you want to do. I always say to people, right, when are you getting married? Okay, these are the destinations that you can go for. That's as easy as that. Does anybody want to ask me any questions? Anything? North of Sri Lanka will work really well for you. Okay. You can stop off. Now Dubai is going to be hot July. You're going to melt. Okay. Humidity is going to just make you go into a puddle of butter, seriously. So, but Sri Lanka, the northern parts. If you go to Colombo, do the cultural triangle, then go and finish off in a place called Trincomalee in the north. That'll work really well for you. That's a nice place to do. Bali works in July. So definitely if you want to go somewhere really tropical or something like that, Bali is going to work for you, if that's something that works, and it's kind of Zika-free area as well. The Indian Ocean side of South Africa, so forget Cape Town, but if you go to Durban, that Elephant Coast side, that is definitely going to work, and that is definitely good on budget. So you can have turtle tracking, snorkeling, kayaking, cultures, wildlife, safari. That's the Indian Ocean side of South Africa. That'll work really, really well. So there you've got 3 or 4 destinations that might work. So Sri Lanka's nice. I love Sri Lanka. Brilliant place. Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah. I digress very quickly. Madagascar, if you want to do your honeymoon, don't. It's brilliant if you're David Attenborough. 100% I recommend it. But if you're going to go on a honeymoon, it's too much of a third world country. It's too much of a struggle. It isn't. So with the Indian Ocean, you've got the Seychelles, you've got the Maldives, and you've got Mauritius. Maldives, expensive. Great. Seychelles, expensive, way overpriced as far as I'm concerned, because you don't get the service levels. The Seychelles are really laid back, and you go to a really nice resort, and you pay loads of money, and you just don't get the service, and you get really disappointed. The good resorts in the Seychelles all have Mauritians working in them, and then they're good. Some of the beachcomber properties are quite good. Mauritius, to me, has the best service levels of any island anywhere because the Mauritians are amazing when it comes to working in hotels, and there's lots of them. So September, October is the best month in Mauritius. It's when least wind, the temperature is down, and because when you're flying to South Africa, you're only flying 4 or 5 hours, it combines really, really well. So you can actually go direct from Cape Town to Mauritius. There's a direct flight, I think, 4 days a week. So if you wanted to combine a flight with, say, Emirates into Mauritius and out of Cape Town, and then just do the in-between, that's a really good way of doing it. So you could end up and just enjoy Cape Town, or you could do a safari in the Kruger and then go over to Mauritius if you liked. What I say to you about Mauritius is the island is, if this is Mauritius as an island, this is the sunrise side, and this is the sunset side. I would always pick the sunset side. It gets the least amount of wind. So this side of the island, like Flick and Flack Beach, True Beach, the Morne Peninsula, that part of the island is what I would recommend. But the great thing about Mauritius is it's a big island. I would hire a car. Go off, they grow vanilla. I went to Mauritius recently. I think I bought back like 600 vanilla pods, and they were like 60 euros. And I think you pay like 3 or 4 euros for one vanilla pod here. It's amazing. So they make rum and they do vanilla, and they have really nice aquarium and botanical garden, and you can go snorkeling and scuba diving and horse riding. You don't need to sit in the resort all the time. After 2 days in the resort, I'm done. I want to go off and do things. So I hired a car and I went all over the island. So it's big enough to do that. And then again, what you might want to do is maybe spend 3 or 4 nights in one resort and then spend 3 or 4 nights in another resort. So, you can start off somewhere, pick a 4-star, decent all-inclusive, go off exploring, and then go and spend the rest of your money in a really nice 4-star. That's a nice option as well. But Mauritius, yeah, great island, and I think the service levels are fantastic. So the only one thing I would say, Mauritius, we had that terrible incident a few years back with that girl that had, it was the old Legends Hotel. It's now the Lux Grand Gorbe. Don't book that hotel. I just think for us, we're done with that hotel. We don't want to stay there. It's really good on price. It comes up all the time, and I just say to people, just forget that one. It was once in 50 years that an incident happened to be an Irish girl. It was really, really, really sad. But it's now called the Lux. It's a Lux property now, so that the hotel has had a complete refurbishment. But there's some really nice ones. And all-inclusive, yeah, good. Some of them have 2 hotels, so you can interdine between the 2 as well. So, yeah. My details are there if you want to, by all means. I have my little business card here as well. I think if you have one of the little destinations that you've set, my contact details are on there as well. If I can help you with anything, I'll be delighted to. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I hope it's helped a little bit. I think Graham he sometimes scares me to death, and I go, no, I never want to travel again, but I think the advice is relevant. And Fion's obviously traveled and writes a lot. He writes for the Lonely Planet as well. So he knows his stuff, and I think we do a pretty good job on the trips that we do. I normally have people coming back really, really happy, and the one thing I will do always, I will try and spend the money that you have the best way we can, and I'm going to try and give you a holiday that you're going to remember, and do it in a way that I'm happy that it works. That's, to me, is important. I don't want to sell you something that, 1,000 holidays in the same way. That just doesn't, I don't get out of bed in the mornings for that at all. So thank you very much for being here. And I hope it's been informative, and if we can help you with anything, then and good luck with your planning and your honeymoon and your wedding. I had a ball. I had the best day, the best trip. I really just loved it, and I love being married, so I'm delighted myself. So, thank you.